Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Expanse is King, episode 6. We will not have Jacob or Mark today. They're away for Father's Day festivities. Mark was planning on being here, but got ambushed by his spouse last minute. So we do have Tyler, Maria, and I'm going by character names. We have Alex, Sarah, and Jen here. So we will be picking up on the last session and going forward. So we have been following our group of adventurers as they have been trying to negotiate a deal with some shady underground figures. And when we visited them last, they were going to meet and pick up cargo from a meet. They landed on the crater in the surface area where the meet was going to happen, and almost immediately got both people, our team and the people they were meeting, got ambushed by a third party that came flying in and immediately started shooting the ship that our team came in on, this old freighter called the Melampus, and immediately started to shoot the shuttle that the other team came in on, apparently destroying or at least heavily damaging both. And then after an extended firefight, the ambushers were defeated. And when we left off, we had Johnny, who had been seriously hurt in the firefight, being helped into the ambusher's ship, which appears to be abandoned. He was being helped in by Drake and by Dreg. And we had Maria and Luna on the surface trying to talk with Alexandros, the contact they had come to meet. So we are going to pick up with Maria and Luna. So they are still on the surface outside of the ship. Let me just activate that scene so we can bring up the map. Just get it nicely centered. There we go. So we have Alexandros' team. He has one of his group died in the firefight, and one was seriously injured, and a few others were shot but not seriously injured. And they are kind of huddling around the cargo containers that they were bringing to the meet. Behind them, their shuttle is riddled with PDC rounds. The engine is off. The lights that were on the shuttle are off, and it is kind of floating just aimlessly and looks absolutely dead in the water. The OPA contact, not OPA, the criminal contact that came with our group, Aisha, also has died in the firefight and is still on the surface. And so we swing in and we see Maria is, what was she, about 10 meters or so away from Alexandros at the end of last session, and they're still there. And Alexandros turns towards Maria and Luna. He's still holding his rifle, not directly at them, but clearly in a defensive stance. And he says, Oi, if you still want the deal, you got 10 minutes, Sasa. Otherwise, we gone.
You think you're going anywhere in that shuttle?
Well, we got company coming.
We're still ready to deal.
Where's the money?
That was on Aisha's terminal, right?
That's correct, yeah.
All right. Luna, do you think you can... I will switch to a channel where only Luna can hear me and confirm that she thinks she can get the funds off of Aisha's terminal, off of her unfortunate corpse.
Just to clarify, are you on a private channel with Luna or a team channel?
Private channel.
So not anyone else from your team can hear?
At the moment, no.
Okay, cool. Yep.
Yeah, I should.
You want I help with that, or you just go do it while I keep them busy?
Yeah, It was, let's see, 425,000.
Yep.
Well, let's take a look and see what she got.
Okay. So you're going to go collect her terminal, or how are you doing it?
Thinking of all of those small processes that I'm skipping, yes, I am going to move my human over to near the dead human and pick up her terminal.
Okay.
And see if I can access it.
All right. So you move over to Aisha's body, who's just kind of just barely being held down on the surface by the gravity that's present, and you start to rifle through the pockets on her EVA suit, and you're able to find her terminal, and you look at it, and it's got some of her blood on it that's been leaking through her suit, but you're able to pull it out, and it wasn't, she was shot in the face, so it's fine. It's not damaged. It's operational. Of course, it's locked. You don't have access to it.
Well, I'm taking a look at grabbing the terminal from her, and in her hand that was also nuzzled into her pocket, I look down and go to shut her eyes and go, I get we didn't like each other much, but you didn't deserve this, and you got to finish this. So I'm going to borrow this, and maybe you'll get it back. Let me see what it would take. What type of firewall did you put on this thing? I hacked into the computer system on the ship earlier, but what is this?
Okay. So what I'm going to have you roll just a engineering research, target number 12, and I'm going to have Maria roll a intelligence tactics, target number 11.
Okay.
Is engineering intelligence?
Sorry, intelligence research, not engineering research. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said 11?
Yep. Perfect. Sorry,
Think?
just having, yeah, I did. Sorry, just having mandarin slices.
Okay, then I made it.
Yep, exactly. So, Maria, you are already, this meeting was sketchy. Like meeting on the surface of an asteroid that has space carved into the asteroid, has docks, has a whole city inside of the asteroid. This was already sketchy. It was balanced a little bit by the fact that you guys ducked into this crater to kind of hide, but the shuttle and the ship almost certainly were tracked when they came in. The third-party ship almost certainly was tracked, and it's very, very likely the PDC fire and other things that happened have probably flagged some sort of an alert. There's a very good chance that there's people responding to come out and see what's going on. You don't know for sure, and you would guess that because no one has immediately come flying out, they probably weren't on active. There was probably like a ship on active patrol. So you're probably thinking that there's going to be a little bit of a delay while they crew the ship and spin it up if they're responding, which again, you're not sure of, but you would probably rate it as likely or highly likely. So you definitely think there's got to be a clock ticking for you guys to get away or come up with a story that doesn't make you into criminals. As far as
remind me who the government on Kelso Station is aligned with.
It's not explicitly stated. Okay. So let's say it's Earth.
Okay. Or UN.
Yeah, because I put a UN security force on there, so we'll just would make sense. Yeah. So.
All right. Then I would open a channel to the whole team. Odds are that firefight drew attention I don't see anyone screaming in yet, but we are on a clock now. So Luna and I are going to do our best to finish this deal and get the cargo and get the hell out of here. But if you guys on the ship can do anything to make it faster to get it running, I don't think the Melanthus is getting us out of here.
Copy that. I'm going to try and patch into the pilot of the Melanthus
We'll
at
come
some
back to you in a
point.
bit. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right. As far as Luna, so Luna tries to access the terminal, tries to see what she can get, and her initial round is completely unsuccessful. She's not able to bypass the firewall, or even figure out what the firewall is. So she's still locked out. So we'll give you guys another turn to go, and then we'll switch over to the ship for a bit.
Is Alexandros looking jumpy or suspicious at this point?
Not any more than he was. I mean, you guys just got ambushed, so I think everyone is a little bit on edge, but he doesn't. That doesn't look like it's escalating.
I'm just gonna hang out.
They're clearly guarding the cargo, and watching you guys, but they don't seem like they're about to shoot you any more than they were 2 minutes or 5 minutes ago.
Right. How's it looking, Luna?
Can I use my stun point?
No, because you only get the stun point if it's successful.
Oh.
So you weren't successful on the roll, so the stun point, you don't get the stun point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't able to see it with research. I would think that by using hacking skills to get into it, I could do research that way. Would that be possible?
Well, what you're still trying to do is just even figure out how to even see what's going on with the firewall. So you're just still at like that stage where you're trying to gather information. So let's do the same roll, but we're going to go from TN12 to TN13, target number 13. It's just getting a little bit harder as you're struggling with it. Okay. So what you can do here, because this isn't too far off, and you still would have had. I keep clicking, trying to open character on the stream view.
The narrow field camera.
Okay. You still have fortune points, so you could spend 3. You could spend 7 fortune points to turn that roll successful if you wanted to.
Remind me, that's because the 242 has to equal 13, not because the ability test equals 13.
Well, the ability test is the 242. I'm not sure what you're asking.
Well, you said that something needs to equal 13.
The roll, right? So your ability test result was 11, so it's too short.
So then I would only need to use 2 focus fortune points, right?
Because what it costs is the number that you need to raise the dice to. Though I did make a mistake there because I did 1 dice up to 4, but you can do 2 dice up to 3. So the way it works is when you're bumping a dice up, so you have a 2, a 4, and a 2, right? You need that to equal 13. So, but it's the 2, 4, 2 equals 8, plus you have a 3 for your ability. That's where the 11 comes from. So you need the dice to equal 10, right? So if you have a 3, 4, 3, that'll equal 10. So if you're bumping the 2 and the 2 up to 3, whatever you're bumping the dice up to, that's how much fortune points you have to spend. So bump 1 dice from 2 to 3, and the other dice from 2 to 3. That's 3 and 3, so 6. So you need to spend 6 fortune points.
Could I just bump 1 dice up to 4?
That would take
and
7
spend
fortune
4?
points.
Why would that take?
Because you're bumping it twice. You're bumping it to 3, which costs 3, and then you're bumping it to 4, which costs 4.
Okay.
Each time you change the dice, it costs that amount.
Yeah.
And you can't change it all together.
What do you mean altogether? Like change the 8 to a 10, you mean?
Yeah, like you can't just go from 2 to 4 by adding the 4 because you're only doing it once.
Well, you have to do it twice. You have to go to 3 first and then 4. You can't. The way it works is you can't skip the 3. You have to buy the 3 first. You have to buy the next level of dice, right? So if you have a 2, you have to buy a 3 to get the 3. Then you can buy a 4. You can't buy a 4 directly from 2. You can only buy up 1 level. So you buy up from a 2 to 3, and then you buy from a 3 to 4. Or the more sensible one is 2 to 3 and 2 to 3.
I'm gonna go with okay. It still doesn't make sense because I feel like last time I was under a different understanding, but it could have just been like my ability roll was 1 point off and I only need 1 point there or something. I only needed to use 1 focus point last time, so I'm a little lost on that. But yeah, I'll use my fortune. I dropped it to the 8.
Yep, perfect. Okay. So you spend a moment looking at it, and you can see that she actually has a very good firewall that she probably actually paid a decent amount of money to acquire. The problem for her and the benefit from you is that it's about 4 versions out of date. And there's a good chance that there's a security exploit against one of those out of date, like that was fixed by one of those version updates. So there's a very good chance you can get an update, or like not an exploit, and use that exploit in order to hack her system. And that's actually a super simple roll. You're just going to do intelligence research times 6 to see what you can find. Or not times 6, but against 6.
So just re-roll and hopefully get over 6 on the ability test score or on the dice.
It's the ability test. So like you add your dice up and you add your ability rating, and that's the total that you rolled.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's what you're always looking for is that line that says ability test results. That's the number you're looking for. So you got a 9, you're looking for a 6. So you're able to very quickly find that, yeah, there's an exploit available for the version, like the firewall she's running on her terminal. It's going to take you a moment to download it and onto your terminal and get it running. And then you believe that it'll be very easy for you to get access to her terminal. Before we do that, we're going to jump inside of the ship, though, to check in with our other half of our group. So we have, let me just make sure. Let me fix the map. There we go. Okay. So we check in with Drake, Johnny, and Dreg. Johnny is still severely hurt, and he is draped over. Was it Dreg or was it Drake who was helping Johnny into the ship?
Drake was, because Drag was getting the airlock cycled.
Right. Yep. So you guys actually end of last session, you guys actually made it inside of the airlock. So you guys are just inside of the airlock. And again, you see that the cargo bay has kind of a mix of different stuff. You can see that there's some things that are Martian design, some things that are UN design, some things that are like civilian or Belter design. Everything is very clean. Everything is new or virtually brand new. But it's definitely a mix of things and definitely a little bit of a mystery going on in there.
Okay. So yeah, I'm super excited about seeing all this stuff mashed together and different technologies and stuff. I checked my terminal to see if it's interfacing with the ship at all. Can I pull up schematics or any map of the station or anything?
So your terminal connects to the ship. Indicates that the ship's name is Zephyr.
Okay.
You see that you have guest access. Guest access shows you that you're in the cargo bay. The deck below you is crew quarters, and the deck below that is the galley. That's the only access you're seeing as a guest. Usually, even this isn't open. Usually, people have to explicitly be given guest privileges, but you're guessing that from what you can tell, the ship is just so new, maybe it hasn't been set up correctly, and they weren't expecting to have visitors.
Cool.
The cargo bay is listed as deck 4, crew quarters 5, galley is deck 6. So
Okay.
you 3 decks
Good.
above you and
Mhm.
a known number of decks below the galley, though not too many because the ship isn't that big.
Okay, cool. So I turn to Drake and I tell him that, hey man, there's crew quarters downstairs, 1 level below us. If we can take Johnny down there, there might be some medical equipment that we can use. Maybe there's a med dock bay. I don't see anything on my schematics saying there's med dock explicitly down there, but that's the closest point that I think we would find something like that.
The other thing you can do is check, generally speaking, the storage lockers that are available on every deck. Most ships have first aid kits available all over the ship because things happen and you can't always get to medical aid. So there's usually decompression kits, first aid kits, hull seal kits, things like that that are available all over most ships.
Oh, okay. Do I see a first aid kit in this cargo bay at all?
Do a I want you to roll a perception searching roll times or against 10.
Okay.
Okay, so you go
Wow.
through the storage lockers, and you find that there is one kit for sealing hull leaks. There is one first aid kit, and it's just the first aid kit. It's not like a portable auto dock.
Right.
And there's 2 decompression kits available in the storage lockers.
Okay. I also have some stunt points, so let me see if there's anything I can use here.
Some stunt points.
What's that?
Some stunt points.
Yeah. Let me see. We've got a bunch of. I don't want to take up too much time, but let me see. So can we use frugal on the first aid kit on Johnny to save? Would that make any sense?
So one thing you guys got to remember: there's 190 stunts or something like that.
Yeah.
You guys reference them by name. Like I don't remember what that is offhand. I gotta look.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
There's so many of them.
Yeah. Does it have to be tied to perception since that was the test it was rolled for?
So this is an income test, right? So
Yeah.
this is about like well, actually, I mean, it's saving resources. Yeah, I mean, you're able to use the first aid kit to essentially just stabilize the bleeding as much as possible. You're close to 0 G, and he's bleeding pretty like
bad.
decently.
Okay.
And so that's a problem. Like without some form of gravity, you're not going to get, congealing. You're not going to get, you're not going to be able to stop that blood from flowing. So you're going to be able to, put bandages on and kind of stop like excess blood flow, but like the healing process isn't going to stop or start without some sort of gravity. So that's going to be key.
Okay. So we can make it so he's not going to die immediately, but we're still on the clock with his life right now.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll toss the first aid kit over to Drake, and we'll treat Johnny right there in the cargo floor. I assume that takes a whole turn, right?
Yeah. Yep. So
Okay.
yep. We'll
Can we come back, or because I still want to try to communicate with the pilot on our last ship if I can.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll see. We'll
Okay.
say that Drake is treating Johnny while you do that.
Cool. All right, so I patch in on the I test the ship's frequency first to see if that's working, and if it's not, then I'll do a general radio call.
So you test and there's no response from the Melampus. It appears to be offline.
Okay.
So you send out a general radio call. Now, keeping in mind what Maria said, general radio call would draw attention to you. And because
okay.
anyone can hear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if there are people that are responding, they'll hear that.
Okay. Then I'll try to make a private call to the pilot on a private channel.
I mean, your best bet is to just try to reach him on the kind of group channel, because he was on that at the start of the mission.
Okay.
So that would make the most kind of sense.
Okay. Cool. I'll patch into our group's channel, and I'll say I'm reaching out to the pilot. Sorry, I forgot his name. Is it
Jamal Al-Hassin.
Jamala Al-Hassin, are you on there? Are you on the radio comms? Are you still alive?
No reply.
Crap.
Remind me how far our ship is from the third-party ship.
We didn't establish that. I would say it's probably about 200 meters, 250 meters or
Not
so.
super far.
Probably about 250, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go back to the asteroid surface.
Cool.
Every time I switch screens, I get like a residual roll from someone. It's like, it's not an actual roll, but it's just like dice across the screen for random reasons. All right, so yeah, what's Maria up to? What's Luna up to?
Maria's waiting until she hears that Luna has cracked the payment, because without this, the whole job is not happening. So
It looks like I was able to load the new software on there. I'm still waiting to see if it worked to get everything unlocked so I can get access to it.
Okay, so do engineering hacking times 11.
When you say times 11, that means ability
Against
test.
11, sorry. I keep saying times 11, but like against 11.
11 is the target number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just reached that, so perfect. So, and you have 1 stunt point if you have something you want to do with that. So you're able to get access to the terminal. You get it to believe it's you. You can see the funds available if you go looking for them, and you have general access to that terminal. You see, just kind of as a casual glance, when it first like loads up and you kind of see like the index, your guess is that this is mostly a disposable terminal. There doesn't seem to be much on there, but you would have to explore more to determine that.
I'm looking.
You want to check right now?
For the stunt points, I would have to use it right now if I wanted to, right?
That's correct, yeah.
I want to.
Go ahead.
There is a stunt point of investigation. The GM, it's stunt point 1 to 3. The GM reveals an additional useful fact about the object.
That's a good one.
To give me another lead.
So which one is it? Sorry. Oh, the core one. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of playing off of what I was saying before, you kind of like just out of kind of intuition flick through a couple things real quick and confirm that this is essentially like a burner terminal. It doesn't have her personal ID attached to it. It's got like a fake name. You see that there's a couple of contacts. The one that stands out to you is there's a contact on Palace, so that's probably Said or someone in his organization. And then there was 2 on Kelso. You would assume that one is the Kelso Brava contacts that you met, and you're not sure about the other one. And other than that, the terminal just has access to the funds.
And for clarification, was I able to duplicate that all over to my terminal or only access it once?
You have essentially unfettered access to her terminal. So you
And are there
So-
additional funds there exceeding what was there for the job?
she has access to the full 500,000 that you guys were expected to bring.
Okay. So what I'll do next is, now that I have access to her console, is I will transfer the full 500,000 to myself, as well as copy over the contacts over to my terminal so I can get rid of her disposable, and go ahead and let Maria know that we're good to transfer the funds.
Okay. Chances are good if you copy the contacts over to your terminal and want to try to contact them, they may not pick up because it'll be effectively like an unknown number for them.
I'm
So
going
you-
to copy the contacts over to my terminal and keep the other one just
Okay.
in case we decide to contact them.
Okay. Yep. Gotcha. And by the way, the ID that Aisha was going with on that terminal is Savannah Anderson.
And so I go over to my close call with Maria and go, "Yo, Maria, so Aisha's been going by a name of Savannah, but we do have Savannah's funds as well as ready to get our cargo and get off this bitch. Let's go."
All right. Maria has been periodically scanning the sky this whole time as well. Just not that it may do a whole lot of good with only visual contact, but all right, yeah, let's get moving.
Okay.
I'm heading back.
All right, Alexandros. Said momentarily technical issues, but we have your funds. We're ready to do the transfer.
Salsa boss mag. And so he still has his rifle like clearly in hand, but he lowers it a little bit and moves in close enough to receive contact from another terminal, from one of your terminals. He holds out a terminal and is clearly just waiting for that transfer via the terminals.
All right, yeah, I just kind of gesture for Luna.
And as I'm about to do this, I just look at him and go, "All right, I'll get you the 350 over to you right now."
425. And you can see the rifle come up a little bit as he says that.
Yeah, afterwards we agreed to 350.
He just keeps raising
Can
the
I-
rifle, doesn't even say anything.
I'm looking like, really right now? You're doing this right now?
Can I roll deception or persuasion on this?
I mean, you can roll it, yeah.
Well,
You can roll.
I think that's a good question. Is this the type of situation that I would be using those for?
Realistically, he probably got a message or a voice call from Ingrid saying 425. Like it would be like me telling you, hey, lunch is $20 in person. And then Tyler's like, hey, lunch is only $10. Here's my $10. And you're like, wait a second. You're not fooling me. Like I literally heard directly from Roy what the price was.
So I go back to him and I'm just like, just making sure you have your information correct. Here you go.
So you're like reaching out to transfer the funds with your terminal, or just saying that?
I just hold it up to show him that I have it, and I go, but before we send it over, I hate that we both had people die on both of our sides, but how do we know that you have the cargo before I send you the funds? I don't want to walk away empty-handed and without money.
The cargo's out here. They're standing around it.
But it's covered, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I guess.
It's in crates, which you would expect. Like you're not expecting, Luna wouldn't expect whatever it is, unless it's a single thing that's small, to be loose, right? Like you're going to expect it to be in a crate.
All right. And I say, cool, give me one more moment. And I switch back to check with Dreg. Hey, are you ready? Can we take that ship with all this cargo that I'm about to give them the money for?
Well, I need to get through the guest access of the ship first to access the piloting systems. I might need some help with that, but I think we can get it in time.
All right. Then I'm going to give it a go. I switch back to Maria, say, all right, we're just going to hope for the best on this and let's hope we leave in time. I go back to Alexander and go, here you go. And I reach out my terminal to touch his.
Okay. So once you scan it, he takes a second to check his terminal, probably just making sure the funds got transferred. He lowers his rifle back to where it was before you tried to pull a fast one, and he says, "Be good, Sasa," and then just turns and moves back to his people, and they all just pull away from the cargo, and he looks like he's leading them back near their damaged shuttle. Depending on what you guys do.
How many crates are we looking at?
There's 2, and they're on these carts with wheels to move over kind of rough terrain and stuff like that. So they're ready to they have them ready to move over the surface.
Let's move the crates about halfway between our ship, the Atlantis, and the new ship, until we figure out which one is actually going to be able to get us out of here.
Awesome. And we're gonna swing back over to Dreg and the others inside, and let's see what they are up to.
All right, I'm gonna make a call out on the team chat channel. That's private again to say has anyone seen the pilot? Are they still alive? I can't fly this ship.
We don't have a response, but if we have to, Luna and or I can go board the Atlantis and check.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna start. Okay, so first of all, the airlock is still unlocked, right?
Yeah, the airlock is unlocked. Yeah.
Cool. I say come right on in. The airlock's open. I'm gonna try and see if I can get this ship into our control, and I think it'd be a lot easier to take this back than the hunk of junk over there.
Yo, Maria, you mind checking the other one? I can help him get the new ship up and running faster.
How about we leave the cargo then, just in case? I've trust a lot of people, but I need to make sure that I don't get left. And no offense, I don't know you guys that well yet.
Yeah, totally. So the car. Go ahead.
Let's go together, Maria. We got to see if that thing's up and running and if we need any other of our stuff. I get what you're saying, and we can leave it here. Dreg, unless you have any other thing to say about this, because we need to make sure that see if the pilot's still living or anything else we can scrap from the old ship before we go.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm gonna try and hack into the ship's systems or figure out some way to kind of take over into its actual core systems rather than just being stuck out here in the guest access.
Okay. So let's have you do a intelligence research roll.
Okay.
Target number 12. Okay.
Nice.
So you spend a few minutes using your terminal along with one of the wall panels near the cargo entrance or cargo bay doors, and you're able to determine that these systems are all relatively state of the art, relatively new.
Okay.
So they are definitely not going to be the easiest to get access to. That said, you're pretty sure that the things have not been set up correctly. Again, it just looks like things have been kind of slapped together a little bit. You're looking at what you the player would would think of as like a computer that has a few things installed on it, but things aren't set up correctly or fully. So while the systems are probably relatively state of the art, there's a good chance that things have been left exposed that you can take advantage of.
Okay. Cool.
Quick question.
Yep.
For in this situation, especially with what we were talking about earlier, is this something where Luna can be like, yo, let me know what you get stuck on, and maybe I can talk you through how to do it or give some ideas that way?
Yep. Or obviously come in person and help as well. Yep. Those are definitely the correct potential response.
Cool. I'm gonna get back onto the team chat channel and just say like, hey, I think I found some ways in to start setting up this ship for us, and we won't have to worry about whether or not we'll be able to control it. Drake, if you can get Johnny down to the crew quarters, we should probably get him in a comfortable state so that once we do start to burn, we can accelerate his health in some way. And then,
Okay.
yeah.
So Drake, acknowledges that and starts to move Johnny over to the ladder that you can see on the map. The one thing you'll notice is, unlike many of the ships you've been on, possibly all of the ships you've been on, between every deck, so the ladder going down, the ladder going up, the ladder has like about a half a foot break right there, and every floor has doors that seal it. So every floor is sealed from each other. And this is, from what you understand, very much like a warship. Light freighters might have more like larger open spaces, but ships of war tend to have a lot of very small compartments, so that when they get into a fight and take damage, large parts of the ship aren't decompressed all at once.
Okay.
So Drake is able to get the door open and starts to move Johnny down to the next deck.
Cool.
While you work on the ship, I'm going to have you do 2 engineering hacking rolls, target number 14 for both, and we'll come back to you after those rolls and after a few minutes.
Cool. Nice. All right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Really
that's
quick.
Crazy. Can I use my stun points, or should we wait till after?
We're going to come back to you for the results. So you got time to look at your stun points and everything like that. Go ahead, Jen.
Understanding the roles, because this part is still a little stuck for me. What does the not number 1 signify?
What do you mean the not number 1?
There's a 5 and a 4, or a 4 and a 4, and then a dragon.
She means the drama dice.
Oh yeah, yes. No, it's not the drama dice. Anytime you see a weird symbol, that I think is supposed to be the UN symbol. That symbol is a 6. So you'll see 1 to 5, and then you'll see like a weird symbol, and the symbol is a 6. So that last roll is a 6, 4, 4, which is 14. And then he has an ability rating of 4 and a focus of 2. So the 6, 4, 4 for 14 plus the 6 for the ability and the focus equals 20.
Hold on. I'm getting what you're saying. I'm just getting myself there really quick.
Yeah. So if you add up the dice first, you have 6, 4, and 4, right? 6 and 4 are 10. Another 4 is 14.
That one makes sense.
Yep.
Like, it totally makes sense. It's me going, I know it's an additional number, but I'm trying to do it from the start instead of. So 9 and 15 plus 4. Okay. I got it. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
No worries. Go back over here. Where is... There we go. All right. So we have... So you guys have left the cargo kind of in the open, correct? Between the 2 ships?
I think we were about to move out, and what I was just about to say when it got back to us was go to the comms and just say, anybody got anything worth saving on the ship? Because if not, we got to get out of here. We can't leave that cargo by itself.
Okay, so Drake comes on the comms and says, "Yeah, yes, my leather jacket, and maybe Johnny's too, but my leather jacket."
I'm surprised you didn't wear it into battle. I'm almost impressed.
I would if I
Fine.
could.
Probably doesn't fit under the suit.
All right. Well, Maria, sounds like, do you want to stay with the cargo? You want to go with me over there? Because we got to make this quick because we got to get to the ship.
You're right. We probably shouldn't leave the cargo alone, so I will wait with the cargo.
Okay. All right. So Luna's making her way to the Melampus. It's more or less where you left it, so it's floating a few meters off the surface. It's kind of starting to lose its level float. The engine drive cone is starting to sink down a little more towards the surface. It's not really under the normal control that you would expect. The airlock is open as far as you can tell, like the outer doors, just how you left them. So you should be able to get up there if you want. You can use your suit thrusters to get up there really easily, and proceed inside if that's what you want to do, or try to proceed inside.
Yeah, so as I'm getting over there and I'm working on getting inside, I go back on our team comms and I say, Yo, Drake, I'm to the ship. I'm going to see if I can get in. And if I can get in, I'll see what information I can help out with from here before I head back to your ship.
Sounds great. Can you grab me a figurine if you have time?
We'll see
Did
what's
you
still
leave
alive.
above table? Where did you leave them?
They would be in the engineering room.
Okay. And does antisocial Luna even know that?
Oh, probably not. Okay, so I'll have to say, if you see any figurines, can you grab them? I can always make more, but I like the ones I have. Also, if the pilot's alive, we should probably bring him with us.
Planning on it.
Sweet.
Okay. So you get up into the airlock. Like we said, the outer door was open, the inner door was sealed. You try to seal the outer door, and the ship isn't responding. You check the access panel inside the airlock, and there's no power to it. Your option at this point would be to engage the emergency override and just like mechanically open the door, just slide them open. If the pilot's inside and he's not in an EVA suit and he's on a deck that's connected, that would decompress that deck and potentially kill him. But that's the only way you can get into the ship.
I mean, it's not uncommon for people to get into a suit if trouble's coming because they know that things will. So if he's alive, he theoretically should be smart enough to have put a suit on if he's able. But
Yep. And he may also be on a sealed deck away.
So that being said, I just go to the team comms and go, hey, Melanthus, I'm trying to get in. If you can hear this, you got like 2 minutes to try to put on a suit if you can. If not, team, I'm going to have to force my way in because it's not auto shutting the doors. So we're going to hope for the best that we still have a pilot that's smart enough to put on a suit. And I give it the all right, it's been 1 minute. We got 1 minute before I almost airlock you, decompressing everything. And at 2 minutes, I go, all right, let's give this a shot.
Is Roy still there?
I was just going to say, I think Roy disappeared.
Oh no! Oh, the stream's still going. Okay. Uh-oh.
We don't have a Roy.
We need our
He's
Roy!
on chat. I think he's
Oh, okay.
working on it.
I'm being really bad at replying to people in the stream. We actually had someone say hi, and
Oh
I'm
no!
kind of an ass. So thanks, Luna.
I didn't even think about that. I think usually Jake handles that stuff.
I know.
There he
Oh,
is.
hi, Roy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what my microphone and camera all reset. Like every couple of weeks, my USB hub or my USB connections reset. So I don't know why. It's super rare, so it's really hard to track down. All right. So sorry, I was trying to say halfway through Jen's weight or Luna's weight there, you can start to see what you presume would be the backup shuttle for Alexandros approaching from the far side of the crater, coming in on a low trajectory towards them.
Well, fuck y'all. On the chat, I just y'all, we got company. They're coming in, and Maria's by the cargo by themselves, and we got Medbay, me here. Fuck. Any ideas?
Can I see any weapons on the shuttle?
No, and like this, Alexandra said that they had people coming, so this wouldn't be a surprise to you, Maria.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
looks
recall if
like
you
it's just
relayed
their
it.
ride. I think we're still safe. Who knows if anyone else is coming though?
All right. Well, I gave my 2-minute warning for this ship. I'm gonna lock the doors and push my way through.
Okay, so you cycle the inner airlock door, and it opens. And the inside of the ship is completely decompressed where you initially come in. There's no atmosphere at all. And you can see that there's multiple bullet holes riddling the ship, going through different parts of the crew quarters and the galley near the airlock. As far as you can tell, the ship is just destroyed. Tell me what Luna's going to look for first, second, and third.
First, Luna's just going to go to the that space where the captain hangs out, the pilot hangs out.
Yep. So the flight deck. Okay.
Yep. It's going to be the flight deck, crew quarters to see if we got anything. If maybe the pilot went to the crew quarters if he's not in the first place, see if there's any salvageable jackets. And third, by just pure luck, going to the engineering to see if there's anything that we need that I can take as to help us with the new ship.
Okay.
Which also may have some figurines.
Okay.
But I don't know that.
All right. So let's do a. I'm gonna have you do perception searching against a target number of 10 twice, and a perception searching against a target number of 8 once. All right.
That's a lot of STEM points. Do I get to use them? I think it was 10, 10, and 8, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. You can take a look and see what STEM points or what you want to stunt you want to spend them on if there's something applicable. And if there is, we can definitely spend them. So the first thing that Luna does is try to make her way to the flight deck. And as she's moving through the crew quarters and then into operations in the flight deck, she notices that this area is immediately heavily damaged. The fire was extra concentrated in this area. There's a lot of through and through bullet holes from the PDC rounds. She finds the pilot, Jamal Al-Hassin, is still in his crash couch. His body and the crash couch are riddled with holes. He's been shot by about, as far as you can tell, somewhere between 10 and 20 PDC rounds. His suit is eviscerated. His torso, his body are eviscerated. There's gel from the crash couch leaking out. You could try to see if he's alive, but I mean, it's pretty obvious that if he was alive, he's either dead already or he's about to die, and there's almost no chance for you to save him, if there's any chance at all.
All right. And I go over the comms and be like, yo, a pilot's dead. There's no way he could have survived this. Our entire ship is basically Swiss cheese. Who wants lunch?
Crap.
All right. So she starts moving back towards the crew quarters. I am going to roll. I'm going to roll 1d6 2 times. The first time it's for Drake. The second time it's for Johnny. If the number is 1 to 3, their jacket is okay. No more damage than it had before the incident. If their number is 4, the jacket has 1 PDC round hole. If their number is 2, it has 2. 5, it has 2 holes. 6, it has 3 holes. So this is Drake's. So it has 1 hole. And this is Johnny's. It has 1 hole as well. So Luna's able to kind of like go through the crew quarters. Again, there's no power on anything. Doors are unpowered, but she's able to. The crew quarters in here are very civilian. She's able to easily open them despite the power. They're not meant to really hold in any sort of atmosphere or be much more than a privacy shield. So she's able to find both jackets in amongst the wreckage, and sees immediately both jackets have a sizable hole from a PDC round through them. And actually, so we'll do this. I'm going to roll 2 more times. This is going to be a D3. A 1 is left arm, 2 is torso, and a 3 is the other arm. So Drake's jacket has a hole in the torso, and Johnny's has a hole in the torso as well. The numbers are very consistent, like they're best buds. Both 4s, both 2s. So you're able to find those. At this point in time, you've spent some time kind of rummaging around, moving through the ship, getting things open so you can get access. You may start to wonder if you want to spend time going down to engineering, which is a bit of a trek to go there and back. We will come back to you in a moment, though, and see what your decision there is. So we are going to jump over to Tyler. So what were your rolls? Oh, you had those 2 ridiculous rolls.
I had the crazy rolls, yeah.
All right. Did you find something you want to spend your stunt points on?
Yeah, I'd like to use hack the system on the ship to control the grappling hook.
They didn't use a grappling hook.
Okay.
This ship
so
has,
they don't have one. Okay.
This ship has they might have one. This ship has landing gear for at least landing on like asteroid surfaces, etc. Possibly, it's possible the ship is atmosphere rated. You're not sure, but it definitely has landing gear, and that's what they used.
Okay. Does it have some sort of cargo crane or something I can use to relay to Maria and see if we can hook up the cargo to it and drag it in? Or
No.
Okay.
No, like most small ships, there's just not room for much of that. You would sacrifice pretty much all the cargo bay to put something like that in. So you just have
Okay.
like loading like a loading dolly, that kind of thing. So
Cool.
it's kind of like, think of it as like cargo trucks. Like larger trucks will have lift gates and things like that, may even have cranes, but like a small truck,
Mhm.
it can't have that much because it'll just consume most of the truck's use for that
Okay.
feature alone.
So could I instead use hack the system to just gain full access to the ship's core system?
So we'll say this. So the key is that you're trying to get access to the things that you need right now.
Yeah.
Presumably, you're not trying to like access like, I don't know, personal mail. I
No,
hope
no.
not.
No, I'm trying to
So
get control of the ship in some way. So
right. So you're able to access. You're able to access navigation and piloting. You're able to access the comm array, and you're able to access engineering, and like the core system. So like water supply, fuel supply, stuff like that.
okay.
And you can see, let me just pull this up here. So you can see right away that the fuel is about a quarter full, water is about a quarter full.
Okay.
So you have fuel that'll run you for a while. You have water for both drinking and like thruster maneuvering.
hmm
Um, so that's all present. You can see that comms is operational, on the ship, which is obviously a question.
Yep.
And you can operate piloting and navigations, or someone can.
Cool.
So you're able at this point in time, you have established enough control to at least fly the ship, if nothing else.
Cool.
You haven't gone after weapons yet. You haven't gone after like secondary systems. You haven't gone after like, you haven't checked the galley.
Right. Right.
You do further unlock, like you see like kind of the general schematic of the ship. So deck one is flight deck. You can see by looking at that, there's two pilot stations and a weapons station there. Deck two is
Okay.
operations. There's 4 stations in operations,
Mhm.
as well as like a label as like a planning desk.
Yep.
Deck 3 is armory and med bay, and then deck 7 is engineering and like water supply, etc.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to relay that schematic to our terminal chat that we have and get on the team chat and say, all right, I got access to our navigation systems. As soon as we can get everybody on board, we can figure out what we're doing with this cargo. And I think it would probably be best if we start heading out as soon as possible. So where are you at? How are things down on the surface, Maria?
Oh, I assume they've gotten on their shuttle or in the process of getting on their shuttle. The Alexandra's team.
Yep. So as you've been waiting, the shuttle's landed near Alexandros' team, and they're kind of like in the process of getting their wounded on board.
All right, seems quiet enough. Looking at these crates, can they fit through the
And these are small crates, so they'll easily fit
Okay.
through the door.
Cool.
door? Airlock, that was the word I was grasping for.
Yes, airlock door, space.
Okay, so we may have to heave them a bit, but we should be able to get it working.
Cool.
Luna, is there anything to salvage, or is the Melanthus just toast?
Well, the boys will be happy. Their jackets, part of it is intact. By a part, I mean like, you might be able to wear it as lingerie or a nightshirt. There's one last thing that I want to check on engineering, see if we can grab anything. I'll be right over. And as my stunt points for my last stunt points and for this stunt points, if possible, I would like to use command stunts, calculation, 3+, which they both were, You can bank the stunt points you just spent for the stunt +1 and use them for a later stunt. You can also combine these stunt points with future stunt points earned. I want to bank on my stunt points +1,
Okay.
please.
Go ahead and mark that on your sheet for now. We will clear those at the end of the session if you don't use them. But what was the stunt called? Sorry.
It is called It's under command stunts, and it's called calculation.
Perfect.
And you have to have at least 3. And I had a 6 and a 4, and it's the ones that you used +1, so that would be 12.
Sorry, no, you're confusing fortune points and stunt points, I think, by what you just said.
No, I had one rolled. My first roll was 6 stunt points have been generated, so I want to use it for that one. And then the one that we're in right now is 4 stunt points.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah,
and it says calculation. You can bank the stunt points you just spent. So, and it's 3+, so I would have spent all of them. So I would have gotten 7 from the first one, and then 5 from the second one, right?
No, you would just get the stunt points you have. So the way that the wording there is that you have to have, it costs at least 3 to use it. So you can't use it if you only have 1 or 2. So if you have 3 or more, you can use it. And you're just banking. You're essentially banking whatever points you have. So you're banking a 6 and a 4. So you're just banking 10.
+1.
Well, so the +1, it's badly worded, but what that means is like, yeah, the wording on this stuff is weird, but the +1 is essentially like banking whatever you're spending 3 or 4 or 5. You're not getting extra stunt points.
Okay, so I have 10.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's where I was getting 12, so cool.
Yeah, no, that's all good.
So y'all, I'm going down to engineering, just see if there's anything that we need to grab, anything.
Well, let's hold on with too much because we're still with Dreg. So Dreg's got his initial answers.
Yep.
What does he do?
I'm going to start cycling the airlock, and I reach out to team chat and I say, I'm coming out to help grab this cargo, figure out how we can heave it up. Drake and Johnny are stable for now. Johnny is going to need some extra medical attention eventually, but right now I think we've got enough on our plate with getting out of here. So I'm going to come help Maria.
Right as you're finishing that message, so the last couple of words, you see on the panel in the airlock a message pop up saying incoming communication, like a flash and waiting for you to accept it.
Oh, okay. I answer.
So you answer after just a moment. This man belter appears. He's probably mid-30s, you would guess, maybe early 40s. He has a short trimmed brown beard. He's got longer brown hair, and it's kind of pulled up and back and held into place against the gravity. He's wearing a green jumpsuit with like brown suspenders or some sort of like tactical gear on top of them. He leans into the screen a little bit and he says, this is Captain Williams of PW 76. Identify yourself.
Can we hear this through his
no.
Probably
not. This is Andros Platterson, captain of Zephyr. What's your business here?
This message is for the ship identified as AL-46. Please identify yourself.
Is that this ship?
You have to check and see what the transponder is saying.
Okay, I check the transponder, see what this ship, if the ship's code fits what he said right there.
So everywhere else you've seen so far, the ship identifies itself as the Zephyr, but the transponder is using AL-46. No other
okay.
identifier, just AL-46.
This is AL-46.
Please shut down your engines and wait for us to arrive. Confirm.
I'm not sure we can do that.
If you don't comply, you'll be considered hostile and we will respond in kind.
Okay. Are the engines even on right now?
They're in they're in
idle.
standby. Like they're idle,
Yeah.
basically, like standby. The reactor's warmed up, the engine's on. It's not like under thrust, obviously, because it's parked, but like it's ready to go.
Well, we're just idling right now. We can't really just turn off the engines. We'll crash into the asteroid. I say over comms.
He literally kind of like he rubs his face a little bit, like almost in frustration. He's like, "Don't be an idiot. You'll have thrusters. You're landed on the surface. Shut down your reactor now, or you will be considered hostile." And we're going to pause your interaction. We're going to jump back to the ladies.
As soon as I heard Luna say that the ship is not really salvageable, I would probably start. You said they're on carts, so I'm sure it would be awkward as hell, but I would try to start pushing them more towards the new ship.
No, they're meant for this kind of like awkward terrain. Like they're oversized tires.
Well, but I mean, two carts at one person. But
two. Okay, yeah. That's
like pushing one behind, dragging one in front of behind me, and pushing one in front.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were trying to do both at once. Give me a strength versus. Let's just do a strength, and I'll kind of just base your success on your roll. So it's not a specific target number. Okay, so you're able to make
11.
You're able to make some progress with this. It's like probably 2/3 of the speed that you would normally be able to move at if you're just walking or managing one cart. So you're not doing terrible, but you could go faster if you could kind of like get things under control a little better, or if Luna helped.
Yeah. We don't see a ship yet, right? And he has not. We don't know that Dreg is talking to anyone yet.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just bumping along as best I can.
Okay. And what's Luna doing?
About to make it to engineering when she turns on the comms and goes, "Y'all have been quiet for a minute. You okay?" Or, excuse me. "Y'all been quiet. What's wrong with you? You both talk too much."
Never heard Dreg being accused of talking too much. Okay. So initially there's no answer. We'll determine what happens in a moment. In engineering, you're able to see kind of whatever you want. Dreg's figures are in some sort of storage case, whether it's a toolbox or a drawer, because you wouldn't just leave that stuff laying around. It turns into projectiles if you start maneuvering. So good ship doctoring would be to have that stuff put away. So if she starts going through drawers and stuff, she can find it. Probably what would make more sense to her is maybe just grabbing toolboxes and repair kits. Try to grab a couple with each arm and lug those out. So it kind of depends on what Luna wants to do. Look for figures or just grab gear and bring it with you.
There I want to just grab gear and bring it with me. And I saw one of the drawers got open, and I'm staring at it going, that's a figurine. Can I get it? Can I balance it all? I'm going to balance it all. I'm going to try. I don't want to die. I think I can balance it all.
So, how many toolboxes or gear kits are you trying to bring?
As many as I can hold.
Okay. And then I'll try to grab the figurine as well. So, give me a strength. Same thing as with Maria. Just give me a strength roll, and we'll determine your success based off of that.
All right, because my goal is to grab one of the figurines and just stuff it in one of the toolboxes and run.
So the toolboxes they're all full. Like you can't just really randomly fit stuff in them.
Do our suits have pockets?
How big are your figurines, Dreg?
They're like probably the size of like a Warhammer or a D&D figurine.
Describe them to me. What do they look like? How are they made?
They're like these ones are made out of wires and screws. There's a big screw that has a wire wrapped around it that looks like a head, and it breaks down like a stick figure. And there's a couple of nuts for feet on the bottom, and he's got two little sticky arms that have little like plexiglass shards adhesively glued to the wire arms. So it's just a little guy.
Okay.
With that description, I just not even going to grab it and go, this fucker's trying to kill me with your figurines over the comms. And I'm going, dude, you're going to have to build more.
Oh, I can always build
safer,
more.
please.
But I can't answer right now.
With your roll, you're able to kind of wrangle out 2 medium-sized and 1 large kit, and start dragging them out.
And I am on my way. As I say that, I'm cussing out Dreg for his figurines that look like they're going to kill something. And Dreg, seriously, you're going to have to build new ones. I'm not going to try to balance it. I've got 2 repair kits, 2 medium ones, 1 large one. I'm on my way to the ship right now with our nightgowns for the guys with these leather jackets. That's all I got. We got to go.
Okay, so we're going to jump back over to Dreg.
And do I hear this patch in over the conversation I'm having?
No, you would be assuming
Okay.
you're paying proper attention to the incoming call. You wouldn't hear the other stuff.
Okay, cool. So coming back to this call, I'm just like, so listen, we're both about to load. We don't need to get too crazy right now with all this identifying and coming in hot or anything. I don't see the problem here. We can just stay for a minute or two.
Platterson, turn off your reactor, or you will be considered hostile. You have 5 minutes to comply. And he turns off he ends the comms.
Okay.
That's it.
Shit. All right, and I get back on the team chat. I say, guys, we got a problem here. We just got patched in. Some other belter wanted to know about what our ship's doing here. I did my best to try to talk them out of it, but they did not seem very open to any negotiating or anything. So we got to decide if we want this cargo, and you guys, we got to get you back here. And I assume I'm still in the airlock, right?
You're not in the airlock, but you're like right outside of the air, like just inside of the airlock, like inside of the inner door in the ship. So the airlock is like right in front of you, but the airlock itself is empty.
All right, I'm gonna start cycling it, popping through. So
okay.
You said this ship has landing gear. How is it like almost just a step from the landing gear to the surface then, or from the airlock to the surface, or like how much? Is there a ladder you have to climb?
It's about so there would presumably be a ladder that would be dropped down, but it wasn't. The gravity was so low, so they were using their suits to just like come down, which you would be able to use to work the cargo up as well. You've got your thrusters on the suit. It's going to be
Okay.
super awkward if you're doing it yourself, because you'll only be able to grab kind of one side or two sides of the cargo, and when you engage your thrusters, the cargo is going to twist and pull and fight you. So it'd be much easier with two people. But yeah, either way, you have a chance of getting it. And you've moved this cargo probably about halfway to the ship by now.
Okay. I'm most of the way to the ship. If someone mates me, we can make it probably quick work. Did they identify themselves as security, or why did they say why they wanted to talk?
They just asked for identification, got mad when I didn't give it to them, and said we have 5 minutes before they start heading over. But I'm coming through the airlock now. I can come help. I think we still got just enough time. We might be able to squeak out of this one safely.
All right, Luna, you better call butt.
How long will it take me to get from the ship to the ship, from one ship to another ship?
Say probably because the gravity's low, you're used to this, so you can really hustle. If you were on your own, you could probably do it in about 30 seconds between the two ships, 35 seconds, and like big bounding leaps, and like use the low gravity to your advantage. With the toolkits, it's going to take much longer, maybe a couple minutes, because they're just awkward and getting in your way.
What's the likelihood we would need these toolkits?
You have no idea. You have no idea what the stock on the new ship is. And you just kind of grabbed at random too, so you're not even sure what you really have.
So I go over the comms and I go, all right, Drake, if you can go out and help Maria, I dropped my shit. We got the nightgowns and we're running I'm going to the ship. I'll be there in 30 seconds. I'll see if we can get the pilot stuff online. What else do we need to get up and running, Dreg?
We got the pilot systems under control. We just need someone to fly it.
Oh, that's Maria, isn't it? Maria, you fly?
I can take a look.
All right.
I can fly most things.
Don't leave us. Don't leave us, Maria. But I'll come help with the cargo, and we'll switch places. I'll see you in a minute at the cargo, Alex.
I'm on my way out.
Yep. Okay, so Maria's pretty close, so it's completely reasonable for Dreg to jump down and assist Maria with the first crate and get it up to the airlock and start to slide it inside. So we'll have one of the crates getting moved through the airlock right now. So that will put Maria and...
So presumably we want to move it so I'm on first, and the second that we have it on, I can book it to wherever the flight deck is.
Okay, so so you want to just get it into the airlock and strap it down there, or you want to get it into the actual cargo bay?
Well, since we need to get out fast, I would assume that I'm going to leave the securing it to them while I figure out how the hell to fly this thing.
Okay, so you're just going to head.
Cool.
Yep. So you're heading up to the flight deck. So we'll come to you in a few moments. All right, and so Luna's approaching to the other cargo that's outside. Dreg, are you just leaving that crate in the airlock? And
no, I'll pull it in
down there, or
yeah.
And just as awareness, like unless you think that this cargo is like living soil or something like that, in which case it's probably already dead from being outside, or it has some sort of system to protect it anyway. Leaving the airlock is probably fine short term.
Okay.
The key is whatever you do, you want to grab some magnetic locks and lock it down somewhere so it's not loose.
I'll lock it down in the airlock.
Okay.
That's good.
So it's going to take you a couple moments. By the time you're done, Luna will have been waiting outside with the other cargo for a few moments. And we'll say that you guys have, again, not any significant trouble bringing the cargo up into the airlock and starting to secure it.
Cool.
So we're going to jump over to Maria. So Maria has made her way up to the flight deck. So either one of these are pilot stations, Sarah. So you can, if you have a preference, it doesn't matter. The key is, well, actually, you might have a preference. So we'll say the bottom one
Like the
is
closest one. Then.
is yeah.
Whatever's close.
The further one is clearly Martian in design.
Oh, well, if that's true, then I would want to go over there. Oh, we're getting a little lag. Oh. I can't hear you, Roy. Can you guys hear him? Or did my sound go out altogether?
No, I
Okay.
think it's him.
Yeah, I can hear you both. I just can't hear Roy.
Okay.
I am sweating right now.
It's going to be close.
Will we make it?
I think we can do it.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
There
hear
we
you.
go.
I don't know what's going on with that microphone. Keeps us losing power. I think there's something loose. Okay.
So I would go for the Martian.
Yep.
Because obviously that'll be more familiar to me.
Yep, for sure. And then with your talent, you're able to kind of get the systems online and kind of get ready to take off relatively easily. So no need to roll there. So you're essentially at a point where as soon as you want to, you can lift off.
All right, All right, lucky for us, they got a Martian jockey up here. The system looks easy enough. As soon as everything's secure, we can get the hell out of here.
Okay. Did you want to do anything else while you wait on them down below?
Just scroll through whatever I can access of the ship to familiarize myself with the systems. And
okay, all right, awesome. Yeah, so you're able to check and see like the flight systems, the ship setup and stuff like that. You've piloted ships somewhat like this, at least. You're able to kind of glean right away that this is definitely more of a warship than you've ever handled. The engine is more powerful than you've ever handled, but if you don't go crazy, you've flown stuff like this before, and it's not going to be too hard for you to at least maneuver and fly this. Any advanced, maneuvering and stuff like that is different, but you're going to be able to get away from the plant surface at least, or the asteroid surface. Okay. And then for Drag and Luna, what are you guys doing once you have the cargo secured?
I think we should definitely head up to. Are there more seats in the flight deck? Like, I know in like the show and stuff, there's kind of a couple different spots for the crew to strap in.
You haven't checked that yet.
Okay.
how many crash couches do I see?
Yeah. So, Maria, if you want to relay, you've got another pilot station and what looks like an operation station or electronic, weapon station up on the flight deck. So there's two up there with you.
I'll go. Maria, any crash couches up there?
Yeah, there's room for you two up here.
All right.
Drake, are you and Johnny secure?
So Drake replies back and he's like, "Yeah, we're in crash couches."
All right, it's gonna be quick getting out of here, so keep an eye on Johnny and make sure he doesn't get too squished.
I'm on my way up with hearing that from Maria, running up to Maria and sliding into the comms chair to start taking a look and seeing what we can do to get these people off our backs.
So first of all, on the flight deck, you've got another pilot station and a weapon station. The comm station would be below in operations, which you pass by. So assuming you guys are all going to be on the same deck, then you have stations there. You can hear Maria can hear the progress of Luna and dragged through the ship as she can hear like the doors between the different floors opening and closing as they make their way up. So you can here's a door clang open, and then a few moments later clang shut. Another door opens as they're coming up those 3 floors from cargo to pilot. So they all get up to the flight deck. You guys can move your tokens to whichever station you want to man, and go ahead with what you guys want to do.
Sweet.
Quick question based on like what we were talking about earlier. Then, which one would be best for you, Drake? I say over the comms. I'll take the other.
Seeing as there's a weapons seat, how's your gunning skills, Luna?
How are my gunning skills, Roy? Because
Terrible.
that is
You made them terrible.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was different with the ship compared to.
I mean, it's going to be a
regular
little
combat.
different, but like Luna's never handled ship-based weapon
Yeah.
systems ever based on the background.
So
we've created,
I'll just go over the comms and go, yeah, there's a reason I'm good at hacking. It's because I'm not good at shooting. I got to be good at something.
I'm no good
Right.
at shooting either, but I'll do what I can. I don't know.
Well,
Pop
shooting
into there.
should be a resort anyways.
Yeah. Let's see. Roy, which one is the
the other one
weapons
with
comm?
Maria is the pilot, and then the bigger station down below is the weapons.
Okay. I'll pop in there.
Okay.
All right, are we secure then?
I don't know. Luna's just
Yeah.
standing around. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
All right. I mean, pretty much as soon as I see them come up, I'm like, tell me when you're locked and we're out.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
And yeah, I just as reasonably safe as possible, punch it, launch
Okay.
off.
Are you gonna like take off with thrusters and get some reasonable distance from the asteroid, like you would if it was a normal situation, or are you gonna engage the main engine cone right away and kind of slag
I'm
the
not
surface all around?
I'm not looking to burn anyone, so
Well, there's no one behind you, and
as normal.
do an intelligence tactics roll times. Just an intelligence roll times 10 or against 10.
All right.
Do you want to spend anything to make that successful? Or no?
I feel like I better spend a fortune point on that.
So you got to spend 3 to get that up. So go ahead and spend 3.
But or however many.
Yeah.
3. Okay. I haven't used any, so.
Yeah. So like Alexandros and his team have taken off by now. If you punch the drive cone right away, it should get rid of most of the, if not all of the evidence of the gunfight that you guys were involved in. It's not going to torch the Melampus totally, but at least all of the like Johnny's blood, all of the surface stuff from you guys should be cleaned up. And then you guys can basically just, if the situation arises, claim that your ship was shot to shit. So there is that advantage of just punching the reactor. With that in mind, I'll let you describe what Maria does and how you guys take off from the surface.
All right. I guess Aisha and I was getting a Viking funeral because we're gonna hard burn. Just we can't risk the authorities tying us to whatever's going on here.
Okay. So Maria slams. Yep, slams the engine on, and fire and smoke just spreads out behind the ship as it takes off. You guys can hear the engine behind you. It's like an explosion with the ferocity it comes on at, and you guys are slammed back in your seat. Kind of feels like an elephant just landed on your chest, with the amount of force that the ship takes off with. So you're slammed right back into the crash couches, legs, arms, everything pinned for the moment. And the ship takes off, fire spreading all over the crater behind. You can see like the shuttle is starting to glow red if you're looking at it on scopes. The Melampus is being touched by some of the flames and, obviously glowing red a little bit, and everything else is just fire. After about 5 seconds, 8 seconds of this hard burn, you get an incoming message notification flashing again. Incoming message.
All right, I will accept. Audio only.
Okay. So after a second, you hear your voice come out, and it's like, "This is." I was going to call Captain Platterson. Oh my god,
That was the worst name I could think of.
I wrote it down, so right when I was thinking of like the greeting, I looked at it and I was like, "Oh, this is Captain Platterson." I'm like, "No, it's not Captain Platterson." I'm just picturing Dreg actually saying it the way you said it too, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, this is Andros Platterson. So after a moment, the comms come on and this voice comes on. It's like, this is Captain Wilson of Williams of the PW-76. Please, not please, turn off your engines, turn off your reactor, or you will be considered hostile.
Under what authority?
We are operating under Pinkwater Security, managing the security on this station. We are the official response for whatever you guys just did on the surface.
Are we in PDC range? Are we?
You guys have no idea where it is. No one has run a
fair.
scan to see what's going on. You have no idea.
Okay, well, you should probably run a scan. Is that something that in the pilot station, or is that something that has to be done in ops?
You could do it, but like you've got two people who are doing nothing. Probably better ask them to do it while you pilot.
I was going to say, I can just start doing it while she's talking.
Let's find out why our friend is.
Okay. So we'll have you, Jen, do an intelligence. Just checking to see if there's anything here. Navigation roll. Target number 8. Okay. So you can see that you get a few different pings. This is a station. There's traffic in and out. Sorry. Everything good, Sarah? Did you guys lose me for a second, or?
No, we're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you see a few different pings. That's normal. You would consider that normal because this is a station with inbound and outbound traffic. It takes you about 30 seconds to kind of plot courses on these pings, and you see most of it looks like it's traffic to and from the spaceports for Kelso Station. You do see that there is one that has taken off from the far side of the asteroid, from one of the space docks, and is coming around. It does not have line of sight on you yet. It'll have line of sight depending on how much you accelerate in between a minute and 30 seconds, or 30 seconds and a minute. So 30 seconds if you keep accelerating hard, a minute if you just cut the engines and proceed at the same speed that you're currently at. You can see that it is a Belter skiff. Or not a Belter skiff, but a small skiff. It probably can handle 6 people. It doesn't not have an Epstein drive, so you guys are going to be able to, if you want, get away very easily. And you can't tell if it has any weapons, but chances are usually with these skiffs, it either has no weapons or maybe a PDC cannon if it's lucky.
Mm-hmm. Would I be familiar enough with the weapon systems to be able to safely scan for targets or see what kind of weapons the ship has?
Yeah, you can do the same role Jen just did.
Okay.
Actually, not navigation. Do the best one for this? I should do intelligence research.
Okay.
Target number 12. Tyler just does not miss. He needs a low roll.
Today is good. Good day
just
for
to squeak
Tyler.
by. Gets it when he needs a monster roll. He gets it. So you take a look at the ship. So you can see the transponder code is PW -76 space Stillwater. Stillwater is all one word. And you're able to glean that this is not glean, but like you're aware that Pinkwater Security names all of their ships with water in the name. So there's like it's this weird naming scheme they come up with. So like they'll be like Blackwater or Waterfall or things like that. They always have water in the ship name. So this is just a Pinkwater security skiff. It has no weapons for ship-to-ship combat, despite the threats he's making.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as mentioned before, it doesn't have an Epstein drive. It just has like an old drive cone. So it's you guys are going to be able to get away from it if you want.
Okay. So I kind of turn to Maria and I say, like, I don't see any real like weapons or firepower on this little skiff here. I think we don't really even need to worry about them. We should probably get out of here though.
All right, I'm gonna ease off on the burn a little bit, but keep at a pretty high speed. I am not.
How many G's are you looking at pulling?
What were we doing before?
You're just accelerating now, so you can assume like, 1G is reasonable. The belters won't like it. 2G is not the funnest. The belters definitely won't love it. 3G, you guys can all manage. The belters might dislike you more than they did before. 4 or 5G, you guys are going to go on the juice, and it's not going to be fun for the funnest for anyone.
I'll stick at 2G for now. I also am going to not directly course for our destination yet, just so they can't track our. I already forgot where we're taking it. Is it Palace?
It was Palace Town.
Okay, so
What can I do in the meantime for comms or, to get them off our backs and make us not as visible to them?
Yeah, you could do a. God, it feels like all the roles for this are all like intelligence. It's so weird. Actually, we'll do. No, that's going to be spoken communication. Yeah, everything really does feel like it's heavily into intelligence. Let's do intelligence. Intelligence technology target. It's kind of a flexible target number, and the idea is that you're going to try to jam their comms and scopes and radar and LiDAR. So the higher you roll, the more effective you are. Okay. Because we don't have this strict target number, the stunt points aren't going to. There's not like a success for you to get the stunt points, so there'll be no stunt points on this roll.
Is there, on that note, is there something that I could use from previous stunt points to help?
There's electronic warfare under electronic warfare. Or sorry, there's hack the system under electronic warfare stunts, which you could use. And you have 10 stunt points, so you could spend that twice to disable 2 systems on top of whatever you were able to do on your roll.
So doing the turnabout is fair play, is mostly their.
Well, they haven't launched torpedoes. They have no torpedoes.
So that says torpedoes.
Okay, that's what I was just going to say. So it's just going to be hack the system.
In terms of direct electronic warfare stunts, yeah.
Okay.
You'd have to look through other ones to see what there is. I don't think there's really too much in this case.
Do we know if there's any issues with the ship yet?
You have to ask the person who was doing the research.
Okay, I will. Give me a second. Okay, so before I go too much farther and trying to jam the system so that way they can't track us, I go back onto the comms and go, Dreg, yo, how's our ship looking? Like, what's going on with the ship? What do we need?
Everything seems like it's in tip-top shape, but I haven't seen anything like this before. It's state of the art. So
All
I think
right,
we should
well,
be able to do something crazy.
well, for now, I'm going to hack the system and hope for the best. See what we can do to get them off our asses.
Okay.
And
Can
I'll
you
use
shut
my
down their
force
engines?
Yeah. Not that I believe.
You could try to.
That would be
Again,
hard.
there's different systems, and like, here's the thing. You're going to outrun them anyway, so turning off their engines doesn't really matter. What matters more is hiding where you're going. So if they know where you're going and they report this and someone wants to track you, they can turn a powerful camera on you guys and track you literally everywhere you go by the drive. And at that point, if you think you're being tracked, you would have to, use planetary bodies. You would have to turn off the engine and do like go on the float and try to use slingshots around planets and stuff like that to get away from that camera. Do you think that you're a big enough threat that that's happening? You have no idea. But if you want to try to get away cleanly, you want to turn off their eyes, not their engine. So eyes would be scopes, radar, LiDAR in particular, those systems.
So I just reply to him being like, we ain't trying to kill nobody right now. It's part of the world, but not something we need to do. And so we're just going to try turning off their eyes and ears so they can't hear us.
Fair enough. You're the boss, man.
Side note, not going to lie, I'm totally like channeling my inner, I think his name is Alex, the pilot. Like that's what it like sounded like when I was talking in my head.
I love it.
So that's all.
Okay.
So yeah, sounds
role,
good.
So with that role, you're not able to directly disable anything initially. You're trying to get like scopes blocked, but you're pretty sure that you haven't been successful. So you do have the option of spending the stun points, either 4 or 8, to try to disable a couple of systems.
Yeah, I'd like to do the 8 so I can get 2 of their systems.
Okay. Which 2 systems do you want to disable? You've got scopes, which are like visual cameras, radar, and LiDAR.
We're already out of their visual, aren't we?
No, all ships will have cameras. Like think of like a telescopic lens on a camera, but way more powerful. So they'll be able to see you for quite a while with the scopes.
Once they line up with us, which they will.
What's a radar and LiDAR do? Like how much further are those?
Those are going to be much further.
So I'll just say as a to the rest of the team, they already know our mean mug faces, so let's turn it down so they can't see us or find us in the LiDAR and radar.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to, as far as you can tell, disable their radar and LiDAR off their skiff. You don't see those pings coming out anymore. So to the best of your knowledge, you're off those systems. So you pretty much now just need to put as much distance between them and you as possible, so that you get off their scopes, and then you can decide what to do from there.
And Maria, please just get them out of so we're not in their line of scope, because they don't need to see our pretty faces anymore.
That was the plan. I'm also not aiming for our target just yet.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay. So do you increase the burn or just keep it at 2G?
Just keep it at 2G.
Okay. So you guys burn at 2G. You're kind of heading away from any. Well, let me ask you that. You're obviously not heading towards Palace. Are you trying to head somewhere else to throw them off, or are you just heading out into space?
Probably aim for a big uninhabited asteroid to put it between us, somewhere we can slow down and wait till we figure out the best way to go.
Okay. So you keep the ship burning at 2G. You take a moment and figure out somewhere you want to go and try to hide, and you find a few asteroids kind of above the ecliptic, where most of the planets in Belt are. So it's kind of up where people don't travel as much. So aim the ship that way, and you're going to get there in about, it's going to take a good day and a half, 2 days to burn there at your current pace. You figure you'll be out of scopes for this skiff within just a couple hours, at worst case.
And once we are out of scope range, I will throttle back to 1G to make sure we're not killing anyone, especially Johnny, who's probably definitely not enjoying the extra gravity.
Okay.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to have everyone make an intelligence roll. No focus.
Oh, finally caught up with me.
All right.
10.
Okay. All right. So, a couple of things you're thinking about. So, for Dreg, your biggest concern is you're just realizing that you connected to a video feed from a security force. Now, you didn't give them your name. You gave them that wonderful name of Andros Platterson, but they do have your face now.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, both you would have, voiced it, but the skiff would have easily been able to pick up the transponder from your ship, which was AL-46. AL no dash 46, you guys know. So that's the name of your ship according to the transponder. Everywhere else on the ship, every other panel, system, etc., calls it the Zephyr. And something that Luna is going to be aware of in particular, and even Maria to some degree, is that if those security forces issue like a security alert or a warrant, your ship can't dock at any major ports right now. As soon as you go to dock anywhere with that transponder AL-46, the security forces on that station, on that asteroid, on that planet will be there to greet you. So your transponder, which is required for you to dock anywhere, is now your nemesis. More importantly, you probably want to try to turn that off. So you have the cargo, you know where it should go, but you're in trouble now because you can't go there without turning yourselves in. Most likely, you obviously won't know for sure for a bit until there's a security advisory. You'll be able to watch and pick that up in a bit, but right now you're kind of like thinking that you're in trouble. that the authorities are going to know exactly where you guys are. And you're on the ship, and it's a new ship. You're not really sure what's going on with it. You have a lot of questions, probably, and just some answers from Tyler so far. He said the ship was in tip-top condition, but that's a vague statement, so you guys have to figure out what that means. So we are going to end there for this week and pick up there next week and figure out where you guys go from here.
All right.
All right. They saw my face.